I think the interesting thing about the question of decolonization in things like the network states and some of these other projects is, the question of capital. And so it's one thing to decolonize from the nation state, but I think that the interesting thing to me here in part is that when you looking at the parts of the nation state, of the network state that I've read, looking at the Seasteaders' materials, is, the object of critique, the fundamental object of critique is the state. But capital just kind of gets a pass. And that's, it's interesting to me because capital and the state are sort of deeply entwined. And then capital itself, I mean, there's an argument to be made that in many instances, decolonization was also an effort to kind of extricate oneself from these webs of capitalist markets and extractivism and the like. Even early on, I mean, the expansion of company states and things like this oftentimes could it went along with empire, but also it sort of preceded empire. I mean, empire could follow in the wake of company states. And so the role of profit and the role of capital here is really important. And that's not something that the network state and other kinds of things are interested in decolonizing. Right? They're not, these are things they're going to ratchet up at some level. And to me, that's something for real concern. A privatized state is still a state, and it's going to be structured along different kinds of hierarchies of power, but they're still going to be there. And this notion of opting in and opting out at will is just simply not feasible to huge numbers of people. And it's not only because it's not feasible because of political restrictions, it's not feasible because of economic restrictions. And so that's for me is one of the issues here that I think is important in the language of colonialism, decolonization, and neocolonialism is the role of capital.
And which many of the, if you were like an indigenous group trying to fight for sovereignty, a lot of times you won't have capital, you won't have the type of money that you would need in order to exert autonomy given the rules of the system is kind of how I have seen it.